Hello, hi everyone. How is your day going? Welcome back to Global Hack Week. How's your Global Hack Week going so far? I see a lot of buzz in different streams. You folks are trying out something new, uh, working with workshops, having fun in mini events. That is so awesome. Oh, it's good, it's going. That's nice, Shun. Um, I'm happy you're having a good time here. Awesome. So, this is a very special workshop by the Wix team of creating two-sentence horror story. A Wix website using OpenAI's GPT-3 API. Lots of cool terms there. Um, and for that, we have a very special person from the Wix team. We have Yitzi with us. Hi, Yitzi. How's it going? How's the day so far?
Great. Thank you. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Cool to see the chat really buzzing. People from Twitch. Um, good morning. Well, over here in Israel, it's 12:05, but I'm really excited for this. And thanks for the introduction, Ashwin. Um,
Awesome. So you would you like to like formally introduce and tell the people what do you do at Wix? And yeah, we can start the workshop after that.
oh, yeah, definitely. So I am a developer advocate at Wix. Basically, I am the developer who somewhat knows how to talk to human beings um, in plain English and explain the usability. Also, hear from users what are their frustrations, what they encounter when they use Wix tools. Historically, that's not been such a major part of Wix. It's developer tools, but in 2023, we're actually releasing, and you guys have an advantage. You're the first ones to hear about this. Most developers are not aware of the Wix developer tools, some of which are already out in beta, and you can try already as soon as you sign up for them. Some of them will be rolling out over the next couple of months. So now that we are starting to develop tools for developers, and there's a bit of history to that. But I tend to be chatty, and I'm not going to get into the history. If anybody wants to hear the history of that, reach out to me. If yes, I'm joining Wix. What was the question to that? Oh, does the real office look like that virtual background? Um, well, I'll show you what my real office looks like. Uh, Here, in my living room. It's very rainy today. There's stuff on the kitchen table, and I should have cleaned it up, but I was counting on my virtual background, so I didn't. But yeah, I was supposed to go into the office, but it's just terrible weather, so I didn't drive in. So I'm using this virtual background. But yeah, there's places that look like that. I wouldn't say the offices look worse than that. So definitely, it's a great place to work. Reach out to me if, yeah, to talk about it further if that's something that's interesting to you. Uh,
Awesome. So I will leave the workshop to you, and it's going to be really fun.
Thank you, thank you. All right, let's go. Keep going. Ashwin, if you can, if I miss a comment, question, or something like that. I understand that people in this webinar are at different levels, so I'm going to try to go at a speed and present content um, at a level that will be understandable to everybody. Um, but it's possible that people will have questions. Anything that I don't deal with in the workshop, because there's a lot. So definitely reach out to me. I'll share my socials. And I create lots of videos and stuff. And I'll also create, I will document what I explain to you guys over here. and I'll put the code on GitHub so you can see it. So don't worry if you're not successful at keeping up as I go through it. I'll be available later on all social platforms to help you guys through it till you actually are able to do this. So let's get going. All right. So number one. So what do I want to show you? So basically, last week was my first week as a developer advocate. I've been at Wix for a couple of years, but I just switched teams from developer tools to Wix for devs. I'm not going to get into the difference between those, but I wanted to start off with a bang and really impress everybody. So I said, I'll make some kind of crazy demo because it was, fresh at the job and I wanted to hit the ground running. And this is what I did. I made this website. And what it does is that I did not know when I visited this website that this was going to be the horror story that it said, that it gave me, because what it's doing behind the scenes is on the back end, that the front end of this website is communicating with, it sends a request to OpenAI's artificial intelligence completions API. And I'm sure probably all of you, definitely most of you, have heard of OpenAI and their either of you have heard of ChatGPT or GPT-3. Or they have lots of AI products that developers can access using their APIs. So I see Seth said, yeah, okay, good that you've heard of it. So this basically goes back, and in the back end, it's communicating with OpenAI's API, and I'll show you the prompt that I used to get this in a minute. It's actually very similar or exactly the same as one of OpenAI's examples. And basically it gets OpenAI's completions API to produce a 2-second horror story and display it on this website. Or I take that then and I send it to the front end, which then displays it. So over here, the story is, I felt something cold and wet on my foot while I was sleeping. When I turned the light on, it was a hand reaching out from under the bed. Yeah, and we could play with the OpenAI API to get something a lot better, but I didn't. So this is what we have. And let's see if I refresh that, we should get a new horror story. I want to say that I'm not responsible for whatever it says. I have no idea. I didn't pre-program it. So let's see. She kept telling me not to go into the basement, but it was too late. I heard the voice coming from the darkness and knew it wasn't hers. Okay, so that's something suspicious. I don't know if it's horror, but it's definitely not good. So yeah, everybody here. So that's what I want to show you how to make. When I edit the video, I'm going to take out all the so don't worry about that. Fine. There we go. So this is my TikTok. If you're confused about anything, I'll be uploading videos there. I'm also on YouTube and LinkedIn, but whatever. It was easiest to just make one quick slide and it only let me put one line. So this is my handle on TikTok. And from there, you can find more information on me and lots of tutorials and other silly videos and things like that. Okay, I'm just looking at the comments. How to win the best use of Velo by Wix. I don't understand that question. Is that some kind of contest? If it's a Wix contest, then I am not aware of it. I'll write my own 2-sentence horror story that I'll post at the end. So stick around to the end, guys. Okay, let's see. All right, cool. So now we are going to move on. Oh, did I not? You guys saw that horror story? I hope so. Oh, okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to wix.com. All right. And can you put in the chat how many of you, if you do have a Wix account or if you don't have a Wix account, let's do a quick tally. So we'll see if I should go through that or not. But basically, you don't. Okay. It's pretty simple. You just go to wix.com. I don't even remember it right now, but I'm sure all of you are intelligent enough to go AI Whisperer. Okay, someone checked out my TikTok. Thank you very much. So it's pretty straightforward. Just go to wix.com. If you don't have an account, create one. And the truth is, what I am doing is platform agnostic. I'm going to do it on Wix because that's easy for me. I work with Wix all day. But the code that I'll be writing is not Wix specific. So you do not need to do this on Wix. I'm going to be demonstrating it on the Wix platform, but you could just, if you're familiar with Node.js, or you don't need to use any kind of website builder platform. Okay, I see somebody has a 404. What's your 404? And we'll see if we can help you with that. Either way, once you have your Wix account, or if you're just going to do this in vanilla JavaScript in your own system, then fine. But either way, this is how you do it if you're going to do it on Wix. And I recommend, for the sake of this tutorial, if you're trying to follow along, you do it this way. And then after, you could just port it to whatever system or whatever workflow you have. Okay, yes, you do. Do we get swag watching streams? Oh, I want swag. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Is everything good so far? All right, if you get required. Okay, I want to hear about this swag. Fine. Let's go. So over here, I'm going to click create new site. And we get this, and I'll just get out of the way a bit. And we want to use editor X. So I'm just pressing on that. Pressed it. Okay, and I'm going to start with this blank canvas. So I'm just going to click on that. And wait a moment. Okay, can somebody put in the chat if you can hear me? I'm starting to get concerned because nobody has.
Oh, we can totally hear you.
Okay, great. Fine. So let's continue. So I just created this is a totally fresh Editor X site, which is Wix's professional site building tool. And what I'm going to do is go up here to dev mode, and I'm going to turn on dev mode. Okay, and I want to stress again that the point of this workshop is to demonstrate how to integrate or how to create AI apps and websites by integrating API in your application or website's backend. And it doesn't need to be done specifically on Wix. I'm using Wix because it's convenient and because I work there, but after these initial steps, you'll be able to follow along however you work with JavaScript apps and websites and Node.js. So that's pretty much the tech stack that I'm going to be using. So now I'm going to go right over there to the GitHub integration. You may not have that yet. If you do not have it, I will also share, after the talk, I'll also share a link where you could sign up, because it is in early stages. So not everybody is going to have this GitHub icon, but you can fill in the form that I'll share in a link, and you should get access pretty quickly. So, and anything that I do over here, so let me show you something else as well. Over here is where you have, if you click up, let me just get a pointer. So over here, these are like kind of, you know, if you're developing a website and you have folders, so this is like your public folder, and you could add files under that. Then this will be your backend folder, and this everybody should have access to. So what I'm gonna do now, just because it's a more pleasant way for me to work, and for most developers like working in our own IDEs. So I wanna take my Wix website and create a GitHub repository from it. So then I can bring the code down, clone the code from the repository, and work on my website on my local machine. And that's a lot snappier, and you know, you get all using GitHub Copilot, you get that. So that's all pretty cool. But in the meantime, if you don't yet have access, so I'll share the link that you could get access. But you can also just do what I'm doing locally. You can do it right over here. You can add your files directly in the online IDE, either in the web module or in the public, and you'll get it when I get up to that. So now I'm just going to click GitHub integration. And this is another advantage. Most people don't know about this. If you talk to people about Wix, they are unaware that you can clone your Wix website and get access to the code on GitHub and bring it to your local machine and work with it however you want. And that's a real game changer. So I highly recommend filling out the application to get access to the beta, and we'll try to get you guys access to that ASAP. So we just do connect to GitHub. Let me see if there are any questions. How to open editor X in Wix. When you go to wix.com and you click create site, so it will ask you whether you want to create a Wix site on the left side or an editor X site on the right side. The only reason I went with editor X for this demo is because currently the GitHub integration is only available for editor X. I do think in the future it will become available for the classic editor as well, but I can't give you a time frame for that. But what you could do, but if you're working in the online editor anyway, then you do not need to use editor X. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so now I'm just going to click continue and sign into GitHub. Now my sign up box opened. Okay, I'm going to switch my camera so that you can see that. Just a moment. Okay, and let me get myself out of the way a bit. Fine. So I just get this GitHub sign-in box that just popped up when I clicked OK or whatever it was that I clicked. Oh, that's so annoying. It's going to make me... okay, sorry about this. So this is one of the downsides of being a Wix employee, is that there's a high level of security. So I just need to authenticate before I access the GitHub. Get very excited because maybe I'll slip up and you'll all see some top secret stuff. I need to do my two-factor authentication on my phone, and then I should be in. Don't tell on me. Okay, so now I am logging into the GitHub. And so I've been authenticated. So let me go back to... Second. Okay. We're back to here. Sorry about that. I'm just going to look at the comments for a second. For people who don't have GitHub integration, what should we do? Okay, if you don't have the GitHub integration yet, so just pay attention because it's not overly complicated. First of all, I'll be sharing all the code and I will try. I haven't done it myself, so that's why I'm hesitant to tell you exactly what to do, but we could try. We'll see if there's time to try to do it. Basically, what you're going to want to do, and I'll share a link. Oh, I can't post a link over here.
You can just send it to me. I'll post it.
Okay, I'll send Ashwan a link that describes the mapping between the folders that I'll be working with locally and the files that you'll see and the folders that you'll see when you click over here. And this you'll have. So basically everything that I do locally, you'll just do in the online IDE. The only difference is that I prefer to work in IntelliJ. I know I need to apologize to my team members who really wanted me to work in the online editor, but I was scared that I would mess up. Live demos always go wrong, and I'm just used to working in my IDE, so I figured I have better chances of not making a fool of myself if I work with the tools that I am familiar with. So I'll be using those. And my apologies to Anthony and Thomas. But basically, it's the exact parallel. It's the exact parallel to the online IDE. So everything that I'm going to do locally, you just do over here. Like, I have this pop-up blocking, but I will try to address that in the time we have. I think we have like half hour left. So I don't know if we actually will have time to do that, but I commit to creating a clear tutorial series, which I'll post on TikTok and YouTube, and there'll be a GitHub repository, and I'll address, or I'll give the steps to activate the GitHub integration, so everybody will be able to do this, even if they are not able to successfully do it right now. But I hope you will be successful right now. So my apologies, but I only heard about this live stream. I think it was very recent, like a week and a half ago. So it's my fault for agreeing to do a presentation that I'm not properly prepared for, but I hope and I think that it will still be interesting and useful. I have a private chat message. Let me just drop the link here. Okay, when I get up to it, I'll drop the link. I'll give the link to Ashwan and he'll share it with you. So thank you, Devil Wolverine. I hope you all like my bald head when I go to look at a comment and my green kippa. Okay, so next, let me fade a bit so you can see this pop up. And it gave me a repository name. So let's rename it. What should we call it? Let's call it MLH demo. All right. And if you, let me tell you this, never do that, because probably the thing you need to think about most as a developer is what you're going to name stuff. So one of the hardest jobs of a developer is figuring out what they're going to name variables, functions, and repositories. And trust me, I have like 30 or 40 repositories that I have no clue what they are, because I did not think through the naming, and they're just sitting around on my GitHub. So yeah, so don't do that, but I'm gonna not take my own advice and just do that. And now I will click create. My camera is reversed, but create right over there. And now one more thing. So the GitHub integration, it syncs between your Wix site, the online editor of your Wix site, and your GitHub repository. And in order to do that, you need to install this GitHub app, the Velo GitHub app. So that's the last step, and then we'll be completely integrated. And let me just switch so you can see what this process is like. Hold on one moment. I have two screens, but it's not enough for this because there's just a lot going on. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to screen view. Ah, wrong one. Where are you? Hold on. Just hold on a moment. All right. Kesha, Ashwin, are you telling on me? I hope you're not telling on me. Okay, I'm not able to switch slides for some reason, which is really a problem. So I'm not gonna do that. You'll have to trust me because for some reason, I'm not really being able. Oh, I know why. Because I'm full screen. Wait 1 second. Sorry about this. I just really want you to be able to see all the steps. I don't know why I can no longer. Do we get Swags, Ashwin? Okay. Okay, I found the problem. My computer is just overloaded. All right, so there you go. So now I got this confirm access. So I'm just installing the Velo app. Confirm. And now you all know a big secret. If you count the asterisks, you can know how many characters my password is and hack into my GitHub. So please don't. I'm just kidding. That won't be very helpful. It's a pretty long password. At least not until quantum computing comes out. So over here, what you want to do is make sure that you check only select repositories right over here, because you don't want to give more access than is required. So do only select repositories, and then this is the one that I'm creating now. These are other integrations, so I'm just going to leave them, but I'm not going to give access to all of my repositories, and I recommend that to you as well. Always think of granting minimal permission that's required. So there we are, and now I've activated it. So let us go back to, where were we? We were in a website like this. I'm just going to bring my thing back. Okay. All right. Is anybody still following along? Anybody still with me? Anybody here? I'll take that. I'll take your silence as a yes. So once you do that, we've got this set up your local environment. And now I'm really gonna speed up massively. So you might need to check up on these steps later, but I'm gonna do it quickly. I'm not gonna be able to answer questions. I'm primarily a developer. I advocate a little bit. So my developerness is more, how do you call it? More developed than my advocateness. And one of the things I did was completely mess up on the timing. So I spent too much time on that first half. So I'm gonna try to speed up a bit so we could get to the more interesting stuff. So now what we're gonna do is switch to, what we wanna do is switch to the screen. And get out of there. This is the screen, and I'm gonna bring up a terminal. So the terminal I use generally is Warp, but you could use whatever terminal you are familiar with. Does anybody have any questions? Is the stream recorded, just in case we missed some stuff and want to rewatch this? I think it is recorded, but I will also be sharing, and I will talk to Ashwin and make sure that he gets to you guys good instructions, videos, steps, how to do this. So don't stress about it. Okay. All right. So now you want to go in your terminal to the location where you want your project to be. And we've got the instructions here. Let me drag them in. So I've got my instructions over there and my terminal over here. Let me get myself out of the way. Okay, so now I'm just gonna follow these steps. So I've got npm install -g. So there's a tool called the Wix CLI. We have a CLI tool. I already have it installed. You know what? It won't hurt to install it again. Sometimes there's updates. So I'll just run that again, just so you can see. Pasted it in and running that. And while that's doing its thing, let's come here and see what the next step is. So really you can copy all these three at once by just clicking right over here. I don't want to do that because I want you to see what's happening. So I'm going to highlight this and just paste it in. So I'm in my projects directory on my computer. That's just where I put all my projects, but you should locate yourself in your terminal wherever you want to create this project. And I'm just going to paste that in, git clone. I'm cloning my Wix site. And now you're in the 0.0001% of developers who know that this is possible to clone a Wix site to your local machine as soon as you get access to the beta, which we will try to do quickly in the link that you will get. Okay, now we're going to do cd mlh demo, right? And I got that in this pop-up. So I'm just going to move into that directory. Now I'm inside the directory. And we're going to run npm install, or just npm I is a secret. So you save yourself 6 letters every single time. So stop writing npm install, just do npm I, and you'll be able to install. It's going to install all the dependencies that the site needs. Okay, now we're done. And we can write, and I have the Wix CLI, and if you've installed it, you have it also. And we could just do Wix dev to pull up a local editor. So this is not the live online site. It's going to open a local editor similar to the online editor, but we'll know it's the local editor because of the label that's going to show up right over there where I am circling. All right. How you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Where are you people from while this is loading? All right, so over here, I hope you can see that. There's like a little blue label that says local editor. So that's the local editor. And this is my site. I'm pretty much seeing the same thing that I would see in the online editor. All right, so now the first thing that we want to do is we're gonna need, and let me make that full screen, and I'll make it full screen here as well and move out of the way. All right. Hope this is making sense. I mean, I know it's making sense, but I hope it's making enough sense. So I'm going to click on paragraph because I need a text element that this is the text element. I need to have it in advance so that I'll be able to take what the AI gives me and set it as the text of this text element. And right over here is the ID of this text element. So let's set it to something more intuitive is the word I'm looking for. So let's do that as, let's just name it horror story text. So I'm naming the ID horror story text. And remember, this is the local editor, okay? And right now, this did not change any of my code, which I have locally, because remember, I cloned that. So I will save it, and that is going to change my local code as explained in this pop-up, right? This is going to change my local code with the design changes. The design changes are that I added this text element, and I changed its ID. So let's take a look at that code. And to do that, what we want to do is open a new directory. Wait. Let me do this actually. I'll move this to that side. And I will open my terminal and I'll put it on that side. And let me open a new tab. Wait while ZSH starts. I have too much going on in my ZSH script. Okay, how you guys doing? You're so quiet. Where's everybody from? I want to know where people are so quiet. Wired Tentacles, that is a great name, and you are excited. I'm excited too. You know what? This is really my first time doing something like this. And I was incredibly nervous, and I still am, but it's also very exciting. Ghana. What time is it in Ghana? I think that if I do IDEA, oh, you know what? I probably need I'll do ... I've configured that to take me out of my current directory to move up one level. So that did that. And now I'm going to do IDEA. I think I configured that to open IntelliJ, but you can do this with IntelliJ 10:43 a.m. Okay, so we're 2 hours later than you. Well, I'll tell you what, it's still cloudy. And if I do that, I hope that is going to open my IDE. And I see that it is. So there we go. So now we're in the IDE. We only have 20 more minutes and we have to create an artificial intelligence app. I don't think this has ever been done before. I don't think anybody has ever created an AI app in 15 minutes, but let's see if we are able to do it. So this is my Wix site. This is the source code behind it. Speedrun, exactly. So this is the source code. This is what I was talking about before. You've got the backend, pages, public. You have the exact same things. Let's see, let me open that. You have not that one. This is my local editor. You want to see the remote editor, which I think is on this tab. So let us close that and make this small somehow. Control 0. Why is this so big? Okay, there we go. So you see there's public and backend, and then in IntelliJ we also have backend and public. Very good. So let's first look at our pages code. So for each page on our website, we've got a file, and this is the home page. You know it's the home page because it says home page right over there. It says home. So the name of each page, every time you add a page, it will be added as a file, a JavaScript file on your GitHub repository. So here we are. And let's erase all of this nonsense because we're not noobs. So we got that erased. And let me make myself bigger because I'm more important than that. And I have GitHub Copilot installed, so don't be surprised if you see some auto completions happening. Don't be surprised if not, because it's moody. And what we want to do, the first thing we want to do is we want to go, we have that text element, right? So let's get it. Or you know what? Let's actually first, I'm going to click on this text element. And what we want to do is set it to, and I'm in the way. Let me get out of the way again. Okay. Look over here. I hope you see what I'm doing. You see where my arrow is? I'm shaking it. I hope you see that. I can't see the comments right now because I have way too many tabs open. But right over there, what you want to do is click hidden. So we'll start off hidden because this is an async operation. We need to get text from OpenAI's API. So we want this to start hidden. And this was stupid because look, it does not say local editor over here. And I'm working in the local editor. So let's go to the local editor actually. And you see hidden is checked. So that's very good. Let me see, we're in the local editor. I'm going to click save. Save syncs whatever I have in my local editor with my local code. So if any changes happened over here, now they exist officially. And I can open up GitHub. And what we want to do is add an existing repository. Choose, oh man. Okay, let's choose an MLH demo. This is my Wix website. I'm going to add the repository to my local GitHub desktop, and we could see some changes already. You could see over here a change that I deleted all the comments on the homepage. You could see over here that the UI has changed. So the UI version got a bump, and you could see over here the package lock. All of this is committable stuff. So what I highly recommend that you do is right over here, write a terrible commit message. And in the description, write a antagonistic comment to whoever checks your PRs, and then push this to the origin. Okay, this doesn't publish your site yet, so don't worry. Now we are back over here. And actually, no, we are back over here. Okay, Mern Stack from Nigeria. Welcome, John. John, thank you for being here. Okay. Oh man, I'm totally not gonna make it. We have 12 minutes left. So the first thing we're gonna do is what we have to do is we have to import OpenAI's libraries. So to do that, I'm going to open a terminal. And let me see how this works. Let me put that over my shoulder. We've got that terminal open. And using the Wix CLI, what we could do is Wix install OpenAI. We do that. Oops. Whoa. Because I just did that thing. Let's do Wix install OpenAI. And I'm not pushing any other buttons. Failed to read Wix config.js, no such file or directory. And that's because I failed to CD into the MLH demo. So I'll do that. And now let's run that again. Wix install OpenAI. So Wix makes sure, if you've been following the news, you know that there have been lots of security issues with NPM packages, with malicious code in NPM packages. So Wix makes sure for your safety and for ours that you do not install malicious NPM packages. I will share information on how you can request a package to be added, but any package you install, you should do it through Wix install. If you do NPM install, the package will install, but it might not work on your Wix site. So do not use NPM install, use Wix install. This is the official OpenAI package for OpenAI's Node.js SDK. And I don't even know if that makes sense anymore, but sure. How you guys doing? Holding up in the speed run? I think you're doing great for your first time. Okay, thank you so much, John. I appreciate it very much. I think we're going to be good friends. Okay, so we're back here. Now, what we could do is, can we get linked to docs? I will make sure that you get links to everything you need to do all of this. Now, you see all of this autocomplete action happening over here? That is amazing. That's because I have GitHub Copilot installed, and it does all of this for me. So basically, my coding life is just hitting tab, 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 tab. And don't let any developers tell you otherwise. It's as easy as that. So now we've got this configuration, OpenAI API. That was it. All we needed to do to get access to OpenAI's hard work is Wix install OpenAI. And that is pretty sick. IMHO. That's what they tell me the cool people say. So now we've got the configuration OpenAI, require OpenAI. Okay, so what is this $W? Is this clear enough for you to see? Please let me know. $W is Wix, is Velo's way of selecting an element on your website. So you do $W, and then you can do, so over here, $W on ready means that your website is loaded and all your elements are there. So how do we select an element? Well, we could do, what we could do is let's do let. I would do constant, except we're going to be changing it. So I'm using let. Let's do let story. Right, that's going to be the horror story or story text equals, and now we want to do $W story text, but I don't think we want to do $W story text. What we want to do is remember what ID we used. And if I get out of the way over here and make this really big, you can see that we used this ID. So I'm just going to copy that. And then why is this happening? 1 second. Command 0. Okay. Come back to here. And over here, the ID is, I'm just going to paste that in. Let me pop back into existence and paste that in. Over there, we have horror story text. So that's how I'm going to get that element, right? And what we want to do is what we want to do is that's the story text. So now we have that, right? And if I do, oh my gosh, we're doing so bad. Okay, listen, I'm really sorry, guys. This is my first time and I didn't actually get to the AI stuff. So I will put that out. What is it? Today's Tuesday. I will put that out this week and you'll have the links to it. Okay. I'm sorry. I hope I will get to it, but it's increasingly unlikely. So I'm just going to continue until the very end and make sure you get what you need. Okay. And I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive this first time live streamer. So what we want to do is we want to get the text that we're going to set. So we're going to do const text, and normally it would be a wait generate text. That's where I would call the backend function that is getting the AI story from OpenAI. But in this case, I'm going to mock it. So I'm just going to do const text equals, and I'm GitHub complete. So I just get, this is awesome because I'm actually going to get a horror story from GitHub Copilot. I highly recommend that you use AI tools nonstop just because that is what is going to be happening in the industry moving forward. So use AI tools, play around with them, see what's out there for developers. So we have this const text, and over here I'm faking it. This is a fake. I am hard coding this. I will show you my actual code. You know what? I think that's actually a better idea. So I'm bringing in a different folder right now, a different project. Here. This is not the project that I'm working on at the moment, but I do want you to see it. So at least you can see what I'm doing over here. Okay, are you able to see this? Your screen is visible. Copilot, enjoy it. Links to docs. Okay, thank you very much, Sean. I always appreciate mensches like you. Okay, so here we go. This is not the project that I am showing you. Disclaimer, this is a code that I already made, but I want to show you what I did at least if I'm not going to have time to actually do it. So what I did was over here, I have connect text, and I'm going to make that full screen so you'll be able to see it clearer and get a bit more out of your way. Make this a bit bigger. So I get this text by calling generate text. How do I do that? Well, we have generate text, which I set as a back-end method. So in my back-end folder, and if you're working in the online IDE, you have exactly the same structure. And over there, I created this file, prompt handler JSW. And now what you could see over here is you need to go to OpenAI websites. If you Google OpenAI and make an account, you'll be able to get your API key. Okay, and you get your API key, and you can also Google Wix Velo Secrets Manager, because that's what I'm using here to get this key, because this way you can hard code it. But if you commit your code to GitHub, you do not want to commit your secrets, right? You don't want to put secret keys in GitHub and your API key could change. So you want this to be an environment variable. So I'm using Wix Secrets Manager, which I'm importing up at the top here, right? Over here, you can see that I'm importing that, but you can also just set it as the string, especially in development. If you're not committing it to GitHub yet, you can just hard code your API key. And then the next step that I'm doing, this log I did just for myself. What you want to do is configure your configuration with the Open API key. And then you have to build this request, right? So if you've imported the OpenAI, as I showed you to do, you have this, you're able to use it. You have this create completion method on that object, right? On this Open API, which you've got, I'm initializing over here. And it takes these parameters. So I'm using Text DaVinci, and let's see what my prompt is. So my prompt is 2-sentence horror story. He always stops crying when I pour the milk in his cereal. I just have to remember not to let him see his face on the carton. Right? Okay, so that's weird. And then I do new line, 2-sentence horror story. And the way the LLMs or large language models work is they say statistically what text is likely statistically to come next from everything we've seen. And it's detecting a pattern over here. We've said 2-sentence horror story, and then we've given some type of horror story. And now we've done it again. So it naturally finishes that up with another 2-sentence horror story. So this is how I'm using the OpenAI's completions API. And we are at 1 o'clock. Ashwan, are you still here?
I am.
Okay, how are we doing?
We are doing fine. We can have a couple of more minutes if you want to wrap up. That's totally okay.
Okay, so let's wrap up. And again, I'm going to create videos and text tutorials for this and links where you can apply for the GitHub integration and anything else that was relevant to this webinar. So don't worry, it's a lot more than I realized when I was thinking about it. So relax, and you'll get the links and the instructions in the future. I'll make sure I'm in touch with Ashwan and send him the full video as soon as I publish it, as well as a tutorial. So let me just finish this up. So anyway, these are basically the parameters that you want to send to OpenAI's API. And then this method is going to return that, right? This generate text method, which I put in this backend folder. Now on my page, what I do is something very simple. All I do is I call this backend method, generate text, which I've imported up here. And you can see that. This line is extra. I did it for my own debugging. Really, you should use a real logger, but that's just what we're supposed to say. But everybody just does console.log, so you can do that too. Then we've got, over here, I'm selecting that element. And then we just set it to message.text. And if you remember, we hit the checkbox that the message would start off hidden. So we have to end off with message.show. And that is it. So let me just show you on over here, right? Over here, we're mocking it, right? So let's just do story.text.text. And this is actually real, right? We're going to do story.text.text equals text. And then story.text.show, and GitHub Copilot in for the win, helping me to wrap this up at the last possible moment. So over here, we got story.text.show. I will open up my terminal again, switch back to that tab. Okay, no, not that tab, this tab, right? This is the local editor. So we will open the local editor. This is not it. Let's find it. And we know when we're there because we see the, where is it? Okay, I'm gonna open it again. I can't find it right now, so I'm just gonna do Control C. Control C, let's get out of there. Okay, and I'm gonna do Wix Dev to open the local editor. But, okay, yeah. And now my local editor is opening. And just another moment. And we will see that result. So basically what I live demoed for you here is how to develop locally on a Wix site. That I actually showed you how to do. But here, what we have to do is commit this. So this is the new just a moment. You know what? Let me do it this way. I terminated the connection because I think I was connected to a different website. I'm going to open my GitHub. This is our demo in my GitHub desktop client. Let's commit all of these changes. So again, I'm going to do MLH demo, and this is a terrible commit message, but I'm just going to do too bad for you as my commit message. And whoever is reviewing this, in this case, nobody, is just going to hate me, but we'll just do that. Too bad for you. And now that is pushed to the remote. So now let's go to our Wix site. Where did we have that open? I think, was that this? Is this the MLH? My site 10. Yeah, this is this. So let's do, let's look what we've got over here. Okay, I'm going to refresh it. Okay, I will refresh that, the online editor. I'm going way over, so I really apologize. And over here, you can see that the code let's look at that at the home. Okay, there you go. So now in the online editor, you can see that the code that I wrote locally is right over there. Okay, right behind my head, right over here. That's my local code. As soon as I push it to GitHub, it will show up on my Wix, on the online editor, which you see there's no local up over there in the top left. And what I will do is, let's preview that. Okay, and now the code that I wrote locally is running, and that is behind my head. So that is how you do it. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to actually do it completely in this webinar. I guess I should have slotted more than an hour for it. But as they say, them's the breaks. So that's it. I'm going to come back into existence. I'm going to move that over there. I hope all of you will be in touch with me because I think this is really cool. I'm happy to help all of you to be able to integrate it completely. Wonderful meeting you. And that's all. Have a great rest of your hackathon.
Awesome. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.